Me and my wife had a long talk before this trip. We both just decided that it was time to take a leap of faith. My name's Rob Gardner. I'm 46 and I'm from Champaign, Illinois. In Chase the Dream Season 1, Bankroll was a big challenge. I was always trying to get good enough results to get ahead in the Bankroll game and own bigger percentages of myself, but I could just never quite get ahead. After Season 1 ended, I realized that I needed to really commit some time and energy to getting my Bankroll healthy. And so I've spent the last 3 years really working hard on my Bankroll, finding additional revenue streams, and trying to get to a place where ultimately I could own 100% of myself. About a year and a half ago, I visited my first Run Good stop, and I was blown away. It was such a different atmosphere than the WSOP Circuit, the WPT, the MSPT. People were laughing and talking. It was almost like a social event that had poker, and I fell in love with the tour. At the time, someone from my hometown, Brian Winter, who goes by Golden Blazer, was winning their first Player of the Year award. And I thought, wow, how cool would it be to go after Player of the Year and Run Good? But the Bankroll still wasn't healthy yet. The time wasn't right. And so I made the tough decision last year to really dig in on Bankroll. Heading into this year, I made the very tough decision to skip Vegas.
You know, Rob not coming to Vegas in the summer is like dumb. Like, how are you chasing the dream in your basement in Illinois? You know, get your ass out here. That was my first thought.
It was the first time in probably 6 or 7 years that I haven't been out there for at least a good chunk of the summer.
Get your ass out here, put your ass in the seat, and let's chase the dream.
And the decision just came down to, I wanted to give myself the best chance possible to have the kind of bankroll I needed to maybe consider going after Player of the Year this year.
Hearing his side of it and kind of what his plan was, it made sense. You know, if you're going to chase it, you want to chase it where, you know, you have all your own action or most of your action. And, you know, if he needed more time to build his bankroll online and kind of go for it in the fall, it made sense.
So when I factored that in and everything else, I just felt like staying home, playing online, sleeping in my own bed was going to be the right play. Of course, when Craig won his bracelet, I felt like I'd made a huge mistake. And at that point in the summer, I really hadn't had any big scores. But then things start to come into play. We took second in a major on Sunday morning. And before you know it, we were up almost 9K for the summer without leaving my house. Now at this point, I was generating enough money playing on my own dime online to pay bills, build bankroll, everything. So it just came down to a question of how I was going to tackle Run Good. And in July, heading into this Durant trip, the bankroll was sitting at like $15,000, which is like 50 buy-ins at an average buy-in of $300. It's not great, but it's passable. And me and my wife had a long talk before this trip because I was trying to figure out which events I was going to sell for, which events I was going to try to play on my own dime, and just trying to navigate how to make this bankroll stretch so that I could get the volume we needed in to potentially be Player of the Year and Run Good. And after a long conversation, we both just decided that it was time to take a leap of faith. We were going to take 20 buy-ins, and I was just going to play them completely on my own dime. The worst thing that could happen is I brick those 20 buy-ins, the bankroll goes down to 9K, I can sell action and still play enough on the Run Good tour to compete. But by taking those 20 bullets, if I could get hot, if I could get out to a good start, then the possibility existed to grow that bankroll off of my winnings and maybe potentially take almost the entire season on my own dime and take off from there. It was definitely scary to take $6,000 and just decide that I was going to fire these two stops completely on my own dime and whatever happens, happens.
Well, a couple of delays and a changed flight later. It's midnight and we are finally in Dallas. Time to get some sleep and then big day tomorrow. This is the all-time money leader for Farmers Branch, Texas right here.
I don't know if that's true, but it might be true. Welcome to
What's
Texas.
up, my man?
Welcome.
So good to see you. You look great.
Welcome.
I was definitely excited to rent a Airbnb with most of the CTD crew. One, I didn't get to hang out with them all summer and I saw the fun they were having, but two, just all being in the same place, all chasing the same tournaments. I knew it was going to be a good time. I knew that the time in poker was going to be fun. I knew we were going to have some valuable conversations around poker. What was interesting though is the house was kind of divided, not in a bad way.
We had the cool kids, which were Brett and myself and Jay.
And we took the best advantage of the house, you know? We stayed up late at night.
And then you had Jay, Brett, and Day, who just are vampires and decide to just stay up really late.
And we would hang out, you know, till 3 in the morning or so. And we would talk about philosophy and life and tell cool stories.
They wanted to stay up until 1, 2 in the morning and talk and talk and talk.
You know, every night it was just 3 of us because, you know, Rob is like delirious laying on the couch. He's like answering questions like we're not even talking about.
So we had that camp. We had the camp of the cool kids, myself included, of course. And then we had the losers.
So who handled the trip better? I want to say Rob and I.
He was nice enough to get me a gym membership for my birthday for that time we were there. So we were getting up early, hitting the gym, working out, eating healthy.
A wild Craig Savage emerges. Shit. Ripped as
You got Rob and Craig who like to have this early morning routine, which is really great, but you know, they're getting up and they're making all kinds of noise because they're going to the gym. You know, you can't sleep because, you know, they're in and out of the bathroom.
Those were the guys, Craig and Rob, who would wake up at God only knows, because we'd all be sleeping.
All right, out here on the grind on the circuit, but we don't stop exercising. So we found a gym right here, the old Firehouse Gym in downtown Denison. It's beautiful in downtown Denison. And it's 7 a.m. Yeah, we're gonna get our sweat on, and that's gonna get our minds right, and then we're gonna go play poker. Meditation. All right. You know, I wanna say that treating your body well, getting your sleep and your food and your protein and your vitamins, your blueberry, it has to help your poker game.
You know, I mean, who can actually like be mentally prepared and rested for the next day when, you know, you have these guys just making all kinds of noise early in the morning?
Health? I mean, come on. We were on a poker trip. What were they doing?
Got our workouts in, came back, showered, ate, finishing up our eating as the rest of the crew is kind of waking up.
There were definitely some nights where I didn't get a lot of sleep. So that first day, walking into Choctaw was an existential moment for me. My first circuit final table was way back in, I think, 2009, 2010 in Choctaw. The room was completely different then. It's been remodeled since then. But here I am where it all started, where the dream all started.
It's the very first event. Craig couldn't come up right away, so Rob and I just shot straight there. I went and picked him up from Craig's house, and we just shoot up to Choctaw.
And I pull these $100 bills out of my pocket to register this tournament. And what's funny is I've sold action to tournaments and been invested for more money, but something about this all being my money and laying it down on the table and knowing I could bust the 5th hand and that money could be gone, it made me way more uncomfortable than I thought it was going to. And man, I kind of had a moment.
All right, it is the first WSOP Circuit event for me in almost 4.5 years. It is my first live series in over a year, and we're ready. Getting ready to hop in the $400 freeze out. Almost 350 people in there already, coming in with 80 bigs. My boy Jay's in there as well, and a lot of time and effort and work has gone into this. So it's time to go in and see what we can do.
But once I sat down at the table, it was like all of that faded away and I was back in my element. It had been so long since I played live poker. It was so fun to sit down, have some chips in front of me, and we just went to work.
We both jumped in the very first event. I was running pretty good until I wasn't. And next thing I know, Rob just is kind of running deep. He's building a stack.
I was very fortunate in that I won a huge double up with a set maybe 45 minutes before the money bubble and had a very healthy stack, knew I was going to make the money. That took all the pressure off. Just knowing I was going to get a cash in my first tournament and have some extra capital to work with, the pressure was gone.
So the day pushes on, and then I realized like Rob has a really good opportunity here to put a bag together.
The way those tournaments play, you're playing 13, 14 hours on day one, maybe like 5% of the field bags. So the work's not done just because you make the money.
All right, we have made it to the 5th break of the opening event. There's 30 people left. We're 2 doubles from bagging a final table stack. So it's gonna happen every time, no, but this is why you come. This is why you build all the bankroll. This is why you put yourself in this position, because now the opportunity is real. So I've already got a cash locked up. Let's see if we can find a bag and make tomorrow special.
We got down to the final 2 tables. I think 13 were bagging, and I was down to 11 bigs, and I got all in with pocket queens, and I was very excited to have pocket queens until my opponent turned over pocket kings.
Oh, shit.
And we just spiked a queen in the window. And just like that, I had a stack that could bag.
He did his part. You know, he goes, he puts his bag together.
Mr. Gardner, what exactly are you doing right now?
Trying to remember how to count.
Oh, do you need my help?
It's 1 in the morning and counting is hard.
Do you need my help?
I had too many blueberries for breakfast.
Exactly.
I blame Craig.
You should blame Craig.
I was on the rail for quite a bit of time. I couldn't tell you how many hours I was on this rail because again, I busted. You know, I was gonna hang around and go, you know, get something to eat and head over, book the room, come back. So I did that, came back, and he's still pushing strong. So, you know, we hung tight on the rail and was there until, you know, he strung his bag together.
This is why you can't afford to miss circuits.
Yeah.
You know, like you got to get on them. Like you just can't.
You got to get your ass in the seat.
Yeah, you have to sit your ass in the seat and you got to fucking play.
Like I probably win tomorrow 1 out of every 10 or 11 times.
Right.
But if I get in that spot 10 or 11 times, I'm gonna ship a ring.
Yep.
There was just this exciting feeling of knowing I could go to bed tonight and just relish this whole experience. Like I knew I was gonna get at least 3x my buy-in now. I knew that I was gonna wake up tomorrow and get to play for a ring and over $20,000 to first. And the idea that I could double or even more than double my bankroll in the next 24 hours was so fun. Getting up for day 2, the nerves kicked in a little bit. There was definitely some excitement, definitely some hope. Definitely wanted a good showing, but I knew I needed to get a double quick.
All right, so it's day 2, 13 left for a ring, 25K up top. We've got 1,300 locked up. We've done our meditation. We've got about 12 bigs, and we're gonna be the big line like second hand. So it's gonna go quick, but we're 1 double from a final table average stack, and we're 2 doubles from taking this thing over and probably winning it. So feeling good. You know, this This is why we do it. This is why we come. I couldn't be more excited to take this shot on, and gonna get in there and go. Let's get it.
I was just kind of hoping that like the universe would give me a sign. Just like, is this gonna be my day? And so we sit down, we unbag, and very first hand, I peel pocket aces.
It's gonna be good.
Look at that.
Oh. Queen six was good.
And I'm like, this is my day. This is my day. This is the day we're gonna take a huge leap forward, and this whole year is about to go into hyperdrive.
You know, we get up there and, you know, I have to work that day. I had to teach a class, and I get out of class and I check my text messages.
I'm messaging Craig, like asking him where he's at. You know, Mr. On Time is late, so he's not there. You know, I was like, we need to get one more person on the rail here.
All of a sudden, I'm top 5 in chips, and now the final table is absolutely in play. So we play down to the final table, and at this point, like, I couldn't be happier. I'm filling out the paperwork from poker.org. I'm final tabling my first WSOP Circuit event in 3 years, my first live event in 6 months. And now I have like, I don't know, $2,000 locked up, and we're playing for over 20 grand.
Get in my car and I'm hustling up there, and I don't want to miss it. We're gonna get moved into the Airbnb. We got the team in town. And speaking of team, Rob Gardner, our fearless leader, is at a final table right now. So we're hustling in there to get there before he wins his first ring. And let's go see how Rob's doing.
We get to the final table 5 of 9, and because I play so many small fields, I've been in this situation hundreds of times. It's all about ICM and laddering up, and especially in a situation like this where the money really matters, you want to play really smart ICM. And if you can make it to the top 5 or 6 and secure another couple grand, you're never going to be completely out of winning the tournament. But those ladders add up, especially when you're on your own dime.
Rob's sitting in okay position. It's not like, you know, he's chip leading, but he's still in a good spot where now, you know, you're thinking about the money up top and, you know, some of the ICM. And this was going to be one of the bigger events in regards to prize pool.
But as many people have experienced at some final tables, it doesn't always go according to plan. And literally watched 17 all-ins without an elimination.
Because we've all been there before where you make a final table or, you know, final couple tables, and you just need, you know, you're just trying to get some pay jumps. And oh my gosh, every short stack doubles.
I look at these stacks around the table, and all I could think was like, this is gonna get to like 4 or 5 left pretty quick. There were a few short stacks, and next thing you know, it's like 1 short stack doubles. So you're like, oh, okay, fine. Like, that's gonna happen. Good for him.
I figured by the time I got there, they might be, you know, 5-handed or, you know, the final 3. And I walked in and they're still 9-handed somehow.
Then the next thing you know, a guy gets it in, and he was the tightest guy at the table. And I had told Rob this because I had some history with the guy, and I was like, he's just gonna play super tight. And like when he puts his money in, you know you're behind, but it's also an opportunity, not just from an ICM, but just because of his style, that you can actually push this guy around. So Rob found some opportunities to like get some check raises in on the guy, and he's just folding. So I helped, you know, keep Rob in a good place, because now it's just like if Rob is, you know, 1 or 2 doubles from chip leading this thing. So.
Okay, you can see Rob right over my shoulder, right there. There are 9 people left in this thing. There's been like 1 million all-ins and no one's busted. But Rob's hanging strong. The chips are pretty well spread out, so it could go fast, but it also could be here a while. But look at him, he's dialed in.
At one point, there was even a 3-way all-in, and even though the biggest stack had the best hand pre-flop, the shortest stack won and the middle stack got second, so we still didn't get any eliminations. Meanwhile, we're just trying to survive as our chip stack starts dwindling down.
And so now like nobody's busting. And I could see the look and the frustration on Rob's face. I told him, just relax. Like, sucks, but it'll be fine. Somebody's going to punt.
Yeah. We should be four-handed, but we're still nine-handed.
Yep.
So what if because all this shit's happened.
Yeah.
That we're like, oh, this should have happened, this should have happened, What if we wipe the slate clean?
Right.
Pretend like it's starting right now.
Yeah. New
You come
final
back from
table.
break. Now
I like it.
Final table just started. The chip stacks are what they are.
Yep.
And just start the tournament from that point.
Yeah.
And just play like you play.
And we have
like
the
that.
button.
Right.
We have the button.
Because
So
all that other stuff that would have and could have happened
doesn't matter.
So like just start final table over right now.
Yeah.
And just play what we have.
Yeah.
But then there's another bust out, and then there's two more short stacks, and then they double again. And it was just so annoying.
Every short stack doubled. And then they got short again, and then they doubled again. And then they get short again, and then they doubled again. And nobody busted. And it was pretty crazy to watch.
Because Rob was now in a spot where he could just like pick up a massive stack and just run this table over, and it just felt like it just never was going to happen.
Eventually, a couple people got eliminated, and we were just trying to survive off of a short stack.
I called him over to the rail, and I made one comment to him, even though he was short, and that was, don't give up your edge. Like, yes, there's a spot where, you need to just get the chips in, but at that particular table, I felt like Rob was one of the more studied players. I felt like Rob had a lot more control of his game than most of the players there.
With 6 people left, I found myself under the gun with 5 big blinds, and I looked down at ace-5 suited. And in these situations, I'll do different things. I decided to min raise, and I wanted to try and make my hand look a little bit stronger. I wanted to give some type of chance that, maybe my opponents would flat instead of jam. Maybe I could have some fold equity on flop. And then a player in the cutoff re-jammed for 40 bigs. And the big blind, who had him covered, called. So now I'm in a situation where 2 of the biggest stacks at the table are all in, one of them for their tournament life, and I look down at ace-5 suited, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm gonna min raise fold off of 5 bigs. And I did. They ended up having kings and jacks. I did not get there. Unfortunately, the player who was shortest doubled. But the very next hand.
All right, let's go. Come on. Here we go. I didn't even look.
7 deuce.
Let's go. Come on. Queen ball.
Still alive.
I doubled. 3 hands later, I doubled again. And then I doubled a 3rd time. And all of a sudden, I've got 25 big blinds, and I'm 2 out of 6. And again, I'm like, I can win this tournament. I'm getting rewarded for being patient. And then we just got in a spot where I opened, my opponent shoved the big blind. I had ace queen, I call off, and it's ace queen versus king jack.
Oh, let's go.
Good luck, buddy.
Come on, king or a jack?
Every time.
Hold. Hold. Yes.
Gotta win your flips. And so that crippled us again. This time we weren't able to come back. We did get one more ladder before busting, but we ended up going out 5th place for a little over $5,000. And it was like mixed emotions. I mean, obviously, like, this basically covered my 20 buy-ins, right? Like, I'm now free rolling these next 2 trips no matter what happens. So it made the risk of taking 20 buy-ins and just going, oh, my damn worth it. It took all the pressure off for the rest of the trip. But you're also sitting there going, if I can just win that flip, maybe we win the whole tournament. Maybe we win the 22,000. Maybe we win our first ring.
To start off your first event with a 6K score is just a huge win in my book.
Rob's getting ready to go off on this adventure. where he's going to be chasing a lot this fall and this winter, and you know, to come right out and first tournament, make a final table. It's just such a good confidence booster and a bankroll booster, and it just was, you know, to see kind of our team leader out there doing that. It made me so happy to see.
But it set the stage for what I was hoping was going to be a massive year.
Next week on Chase the Dream.
Of course, there was the egg issue and the scrambled eggs that Craig made.
And that was probably the most difficult thing I ever dealt with. Losing someone that close and that way was really hard.
But all of them voices, we got them. Lie to me, Hillary Rodham. I just came back from my kid in the bottom, and now I'm gonna bring it back all the way on them. Yeah. One time, I'm going for mine. You put it on mine. You better believe they're looking for me. One time, I'm going for mine. You put it on mine. They're looking for me. Yeah. One time, I'm going for mine. You put it on mine. You better believe they're looking for me. One time, I'm going for mine. You put it on mine. Looking for me. Yeah, I gotta go, and this I go. I'm dying a legend, that's just so you know. Yeah, I'ma go get it. We just keep pushing the limit. I am like all the way with it.